Hi guys, it's April. I'm still a little congested-y in the brain and this whole area right here. So this February wrap-up is probably going to be a lot shorter than my other ones because I just don't have the energy to be me right now. Would you like to be me? Well, I'm sorry the job's taken. I'm gonna be me. You're welcome. Oh yay, now that my head cold has made me say ridiculous jokes, I am now going to tell you about my reading for the last part of February. As you guys all know, I read, 14 or so odd books in the first part of February, and if you cut that in half, you get the last part of February. I only read about 8 books, which is good, I'm not going to lie. But that last week there with my face was just hard. Anyways, I'm gonna get into the books. That's why you're here for the books. So let's talk books. I started off by reading Such a Pretty Fat by Jen Lancaster. This was basically her journey into losing weight and the things that went through her brain as this happened. She basically blogged it, and this was what came out of that. I thought it was a cool concept. I didn't really connect to her as a person. She is a lot more crass and strong-willed than I am, so there was points where I found her personality a little bit abrasive, but she does hit on some key points of when you're losing weight, things that just get to you. Honestly, overall, it was an okay read, but not something I'd ever probably recommend or pick up again. You guys all know about my reread of the Mediator series, and so I finished off by reading Twilight, the proposal novella, and then I finally got to Remembrance by Meg Cabot. I won't go into all of the detail of it here because I did a review, so it's gonna appear somewhere up above my head, and I'll link it down below so you can go check it out. It's safe to say I was a little underwhelmed of where the story went from the nostalgia of the beginning of the series and the place it's had in my life, but you know, it's not something that I'd ever stop reading any of the books because I'm addicted. So there's that. I then finally started reading the Becca Cooper Trilogy by Tamara Pierce. And oh, there's so much love in this that I have for this thing in front of my face right now. This is actually a precursor to the Alana, the Song of the Linus series. And so it's got some of the history of Tortal. It is told through the journals of Becca Cooper. Becca Cooper is a girl who started out in these slums, and through a series of events, she managed to switch her luck and is now in the process of training to be a dog, which is the city police for Tortal. And this right here is her first year putting her feet to the grindstone and her senior dogs training her and what all needs to be done. There's just so much action in here, and I don't know how to explain this book right now, mainly because the mucus in my brain is talking louder than the shine of this cover. But Becca Cooper is such a strong character, but she has this flaw of being very introverted, which of course I can relate to, which makes some of her experiences kind of hilarious. She has certain powers that I fairly enjoyed, and then Pounce the cat has got to be the greatest. I'm currently in the middle of reading the next book in this series, so expect to see that in my, what month is it? My March mid-month wrap-up. Yeah, because it's March. I then am also continuing on in the reading of the series of Unfortunate Events, and this was the next in the series, which is the Hostel Hospital. It's number 8 in the series. It, of course, falls in the same vein as the whole of the series. Grown-ups have no idea what they're doing. The Baudelaire children are in these uncomfortable events, and now they're just trying to figure out if maybe things aren't what they seem, if there is history or family that they need to connect with, and just all the trouble that, yeah. words. I keep on saying this when I review any of these books. I think I would have enjoyed these a lot more if I was younger. I just find some of the narration style and some of the story content a little, are you serious? What? Okay. So, if I ever have small children around me at some point in the future, I will probably pick these up and read them to them because they're just ridiculous. I then finally finished the Defy series with Endure by Sarah B. Larson. Alexa and King Damien are trying to figure out how to keep the kingdom from falling apart and magic things to just explode. The reason I first picked up any of these books is because in Defy, Alexa was pretending to be a boy in the king's army, which we all know I like because, hello, that's how Tamara Pierce got me with her Song of the Linus series. I really enjoyed the story. It wasn't anything exciting or overwhelming, and at points the love story just took over and everything. I find Alexa a little bit hypocritical at times because she's like, I have to go save this person because it's my fault. And then when somebody else wants to stay and save her because they feel like it's their fault, she's like, no, you can't do that. And she doesn't see what she's causing. And so there's some naivety there that just drove me nuts a lot. There was words said at the book, but of course I had to know what happened, and the romance was gushy and mushy. There was times that I liked it, and there's times that it was just like, can we move on now? Finally, I continued on in the Dresden Files series by Jim Butcher with Grave Peril. This one, of course, got a little darker than the first in the series, where, you know, we're dealing with Harry Dresden's godmother and vampires and ghosts and how everything can go wrong all at once. This one is a little bit of a heart jerker, but you see it coming, and part of me is like, yeah, that's gonna happen because A, I've read it before, and B, I just never really connected to the character that tragedy befell. I will always be continuing on in the Dresden Files series because I need to do that. It needs to be a thing. Before I wrap up this video and say goodbye to all of you, I want you to see this because when I saw this, it made me laugh hysterically. This is what happened with all of the books I still have with me for the last part of February. Do you notice any theme within these books? Because if you don't, you need to get your eyes checked and or you are colorblind. I'm gonna go with colorblind, which is okay because I have relatives who are colorblind. I would cry if I was colorblind, and I'm babbling. I just started laughing hysterically when I realized that my reading diet was all the same color. And this was not intentional in any way. It wasn't. And I will let you go because you guys don't need to hear my nasally talk or my random babble that may or may not be induced by cold medicine. I heart your beautiful faces. Bye. P.S. If you haven't checked out the Book Madness videos that I'm linking everywhere right now because you need to, you should do that. And if you have and you haven't voted yet, you should go vote. I will also link that stuff down below where my pants normally are. And I hear Juliet is a great character to back. So you should consider that. I heart your beautiful faces. Once again, I'm closing this video. Bye.